Hi guys, welcome back. So tonight we're going to tie another old blast from the past rainbow fly, and this to me was called the white puppy dog. So we used a standard lure type hook. I think back in the day I was probably using mustads or something like that there, but this is a Amazon B830 in a size 8, and I'm going to tie on my black tying thread, and then I am going to give it a little bit of super glue just to hold it in place. So tail on this fly was white marabou, so I stripped off one side here of a marabou feather, and if we want it to be heavier then we'll strip off the other side as well. Hold that up to the fly, and then I'm going to trim this to length. Now the marabou can be quite sort of chunky and thick at this, so you might want to just grab it a little bit further along the bunch and just pull out some of the rubbishy bits, and that should give you a more even tie-in. Now what I've gone for here is to try and get like a natural type tip to it. So if we take this out a little bit, it's a longish tailed fly, I'm going to set this on to length. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of room at the front because we've got bead chain eyes to put on, and just let that sit there for a second, because what I want to do, and this is for durability of the fly, is I'm just going to put a little bit of clear varnish onto that. Now it is tied in and secured by the front here, so what I'm going to do then is going to wrap back into that. Now I don't want it back into the tail, but I want it on the bits that I'm wrapping the body with, and what that'll mean is that the whole marabou tie-in is sort of impermeated with the varnish. Should make the fly more secure there, but what it'll also do is stop the water from wicking up, because if you have a fly that has a wet marabou core to it after fishing with it, then it can rust your hook from the inside. So that is that. So if we want then to put in some sort of flash into the tail, so I suppose that would originally have been something like flashaboo, or you could use a bit of silver or something. So I'm going to use a little bit of pearl mirage here, but as I said, if you want to use just pearl tinsel or pearl flash, that's fine. I'm going to tie in it on one side. I'm going to fold it over to the far side and then flip it back, and therefore I'll have two sort of lateral lines as such with it, and then I'll trim this off at the length of my tail. So next thing I'm going to put on is the silver bead chain eyes. So I'm going to take them forward there, and I'm going to wrap them on kind of like figure of 8. And when they're in position, I'll then take my super glue and I'll just soak in the tie-in points of it there with super glue. A few more wraps into it. So simple fly, not a whole pile of materials. So what we're going to do then is to tie the body with this, which is like a white suede chenille. It's quite a thick one, it's probably 5 or 6 mil thick, I would think. So I'm tying that on at the front, and then I'm going to tie along its length to take it to the back, and what that will do is to give me a nice even underbody to tie on. And then I'm going to wrap this forward, and then when we get to the head here, what we want to do is do like a figure of 8 type wrap around that, ending up on the front side where we catch it in turns across it, then flip it back, a few turns across the fold, and then get that tied in front of it. Just going to use my fingernails to slip back my hitches. And all's in place. Snip that off. Cut the core of our chenille. And then a touch of super glue just into the tie-ins of it. So you see I made a very small head. It's almost not visible. And that'll sort of sink back into the chenille and make it nice and neat. So that is our fly tied. So that is Blast from the Past, the white puppy dog lure, and another one that was from my sort of early days of rainbow fishing, and that caught me a lot of fish back then. So if you like what you see tonight, give us a like, subscribe, tell your friends, and until next time, tight lines and thanks for watching.